into the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Oh, we are back! Monday Night Football. Tonight we had the New York Giants versus the Miami Dolphins. We are so sorry that we couldn't bring the show to you for the past couple weeks. There's been some scheduling conflicts with the holidays. Christina's had a different work schedule, but I'm here tonight. I'm holding it down. I've got two special people to talk football tonight. You might only see one, but there's another one on the line. But first, let me introduce my handsome, fabulous hair day.
Good hair day?
You're having a really good hair day.
I spent a lot of time doing it, just thinking about what sort of criticism I'm going to get.
Fabulous.
Do you know what? What must people be thinking? They're thinking you've been on hiatus 2 weeks, all your hosts are gone, so you bring in the Australian guys, the last possible resort to talk Monday football.
It's kind of what's happened.
I do know more than you think, though. I've been in America 12 years.
No, you do.
I haven't lost the accent.
Just so happens your team's the Carolina Panthers, too.
I'm not a bandwagon jumper either.
No.
I've been with them since they won like 2 games 4 years ago.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
I'm the proudest Carolina Panthers supporter right now.
I know. And he is a Carolina fan because he went to college in South Carolina, so we're going to give him that.
It was my first experience in America. Never been. I first went to Carolina, Charlotte, so that's why I became a Carolina Panthers fan.
No, I like it. I'm just busting your chops here. We'll be fine. And on the line, we've got our best friend, best fan, favorite fan. There's a lot of fans. I can't play favorites, but he is one of the favorites. There's a few that are very, very loyal to me, and I appreciate you all. We've got Ben on the line, Fantasy Stat Guru. How you doing?
Good. It's good to be back, even if I'm only on the phone, but it was a fun game to watch, so it's fun to talk about.
It was a fun game to watch, and I'm really thankful that you called in because I was going to have to do it alone, and Guy arrived, and I pulled him in so I didn't have to sit up here alone.
You literally pulled me from the car.
I did. It happens.
I was in the car 2 minutes ago.
I know. You
now
still got
I'm
your
on Monday
jacket
Night
on.
Football.
Take your jacket off, stay a while.
I didn't get a chance to go to the bathroom, have a sip of water, take my jacket off, nothing, in studio.
That's fine. So Ben, what did you think overall about this game? I mean, first of all, I'd like to say that I noticed, being a Jets fan, we don't like the Dolphins, squish the fish, whatever. I did notice they had their throwback jerseys on, which I like. I'm not a big fan of their new logo. So they looked sharp, and they came out kind of strong. What'd you think, Ben, about the beginning of the game?
Yeah, I definitely think they had the momentum starting out in that game. The way they were running with Miller, and the Giants just couldn't tackle them. So I think they definitely had the momentum going on early, but then Eli Manning just had a great game. His connection with Odell Beckham was spot on, and they kind of just took the momentum and ran with it.
Yeah, I mean, when Eli and Odell are on, I could have the argument that they're the best tandem. They're even better than Brady and Gronk, I think. I mean, get it, Gronk's tight end. But I'm saying, like, when they are on, the plays and the catches they make are insane. And Odell Beckham, who at this game he had the flu, or he's sick, he's feeling bad, he's in Florida where it's hot and humid and disgusting. The guy goes in during halftime to get an IV to feel better, comes out, makes sick plays.
He's one of the best athletes I've seen.
Ever.
It's ridiculous. Hey, so Ben, help me out here. I've had Eli on my fantasy team all year, and he's one of the toughest football players to work out. I mean, he's one of the most talented guys, 2-time Super Bowl champion. This game he had his highest passer rating since 2009, but then he has games where he can't hit the backside of a barn. Where is he? Is he a quarterback? How do you explain him?
You can't. I mean, there other than like the top few that are consistent every week, there's the next tier that have the possibility of being great any given Sunday, but they just aren't consistent enough. And I think now that he's going to have Odell Beckham as his crutch for a long period of time, and he's gotten that chemistry down with him. I think he'll actually probably start doing better as his career goes on if they stick together. But it's hard to say because he does like to fling the ball around. That sometimes leads to interceptions, which can put his team in bad positions.
What's up with the Giants? Could easily be 10-3 this year. They're 5-7. I think they've lost something like 7 last quarter leads or something. They got over the line today. What was different about tonight that you saw? I didn't see the game. Why have they had trouble with these last quarters, and why did they get over the line today?
I think it was because they actually had a running game for once.
They did.
And if you watch the after shows, like Gruden Grinder gave the Gruden Grinder to Jennings, which is crazy to think about because Manning had the game of his life.
Right.
He had as many touchdown passes as incompletions, which is crazy to think about. But I think just that running game kind of gave it a balance, and then Odell Beckham was getting out his breaks quick, and he was inspired kind of playing against his best buddy Landry.
Yeah.
And I think they were just clicking, so those possession receptions were there. Normally, Eli's big with the large down the field throws, gets a little lucky sometimes in Super Bowls, and they get drives that way. But this time he was actually dinking and dunking and had a few large throws in along with it, and so that made it just seal it for him.
This is how frustrating it is for me. I've had both Rashad Jennings as my running back and Eli as my quarterback the whole year. I benched both this week for Tyrone Taylor and...
Did you bench him because they lost to the New York Jets? And they didn't perform?
Exactly. They gave me nothing. Yes. And then, of course, they have these huge games when they're on my bench.
Well, the thing with Jennings, too, not only did he have a huge game, but it was his runs, the way he ran through people. He was bulldozering people. He wasn't giving up. He was giving that second effort every single time. Like the Giants, and again, with that division, with the Giants, now there's a 3-way tie for first place.
Don't get me started on that division.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And I feel like they wanted it because they're still in it. I mean, it's week 13.
So we have Philadelphia, Washington, Giants, all 5-7.
Yeah.
I think the Giants play Carolina next week or the week after. And I think Washington has
Next week.
They all have a tough schedule. Who's going to come out of this ridiculously bad Eastern?
Well, you know what the crazy thing is? The last team in that division is the Cowboys.
They
and
can
the Cowboys,
still mathematically do it.
Right now where the Cowboys sit, they can mathematically win the division or mathematically get the first pick for the draft.
That is ridiculous.
That's insane. I don't know that
You
that's ever
almost
happened.
have to make a decision because Romo's out for the year. Do we even want to make the playoffs? Wouldn't we be better off just going for the number one pick in the draft?
Well, that's what the Jets did the year before. Last year there was this like hashtag going around that said "suck for the duck." So because if we continued to lose, then we would have got
Mariota.
Yeah.
You lost him because of one game last year too.
Yeah, totally. So then anyway, okay, so then we look at the flip side of that. Now, what do I think of Tannehill? I feel like Tannehill he's that quarterback. For some reason, I don't know why. I like him. Jets fan, squish the fish.
I've always thought he
him.
was good. He hasn't lived up to his potential this year, though. He hasn't been... I thought he was going to have more of a breakout year this year, because I saw some really good stuff last year. And he hasn't done... I know Philbin got fired through the year. They've had a new offensive coordinator, but...
Yeah.
What do you, Ben?
I was just going to say the new offensive coordinator is making a huge difference. I think early on they were trying to get him to do things that were outside of his comfort zone, and with the people that he has, he needs a balanced offense. They have Miller, who's a good running back. If he can get some good plays early like they did today, then they can do some play action, and then they can get the long throws to Landry, or they can get the possession throws to Landry. And one thing I think they needed to do a little bit more of, especially later in the game, was throw to their running backs.
Yeah.
Because they were covering all the possession receivers out past the first down marker, but the running backs were just sneaking out, and they could have gotten a couple more yards, and instead of having those loss of play by getting incompletions that they threw to Landry 18 times.
Yeah,
18
targeted him
targets
18
in
targets.
one day.
Yeah, but it's
That was
crazy because
crazy.
today he was one of the most versatile Dolphins out there. That he was playing running back, he was playing wide receiver, he's just playing smart football. You know, the guy, you can put him in
Yeah.
any play and he can. You know what the thing though I have to say about the Dolphins is there was a little bit too much dirty play for me tonight. I mean, I feel like, you know, what did they have? 3 personal fouls? Was
They
it?
did have
That 3?
They did have
3.
3 personal fouls. They had a
Undisciplined.
couple other fouls. That's one of the things when I was looking at the team stats at the very end. I'm like, oh wow, they look the same, look very similar. The Dolphins had 12 penalties for 123 yards, where the Giants only had 3 penalties for 25.
Yeah,
I think those were drive killers or drive extenders, and I think that definitely hurt them late in the game when they either needed to get a first down or needed to stop them from getting a first down, and they were just killing themselves.
Yeah, it totally hurts me. And you gotta, I mean, not that there's any excuse, but I feel like that all comes back to discipline. And because of the shakeup and because of the changes in personnel that they've had this season, that's something that I feel like next season will be fixed.
They are the 2 weirdest teams in football to me. If you look at Miami, talented list, started off terrible, fired their coach, went crazy, put 45 up on Houston in a half.
Yeah.
And then won 3 games in a row, dropped back. Giants, you don't know what the hell they're doing. Every week, the NFC East is a mess.
Right.
This is a season where there's teams that I just can't work out. And both these teams, that's why I normally punt. I normally gamble, but I left this game alone. It's just one of those games that's hard to work out because the unpredictability of both these teams. So where does Miami stand as a franchise right now going into next year? Because I think they're out of playoff contention officially now.
Yeah, they're definitely out.
They are the playoff contention, but I think they have the solid foundation there. I mean, even this game, if they didn't have Jamar Taylor and Rashad Jones just blow that coverage on the 84-yard touchdown, they're right in it. They're tied with whatever 5 minutes to go, and it could be anybody's game. And I think they have the foundation. They have a good quarterback. Obviously, he's not going to be the elite, but he's in that.
He could be.
Put him in the right system.
Yeah, he
can
could
do
be.
well.
You don't know with him.
They have a good running back, and their defense is off and on, but they have the raw material there too with a really good offensive line. Sue and Venden, or the V guy's name.
Darkwall?
Yeah, there's a couple good offensive or defensive linemen.
Oh, defensive linemen. No, Darkwall's not that. Yes, Sue.
They have material to be a good team and contend for wild cards every year. I think this year they kind of got off track early and they really haven't been able to finish.
Yeah, and you got to think about the Dolphins as a wild card spot because look, the Patriots have dominated the division for the past how many years? So you know, almost every other team in the Dolphins, the Jets, the Bills, it's always like, oh, can we get the wild card spot? You know, I mean, and hopefully that will change.
Yeah, they're literally fighting for it every year.
But I think too, even
Patriots
with
got clinched today. Did you know that?
Yeah, I think it was last night, but they didn't win the division yet. Technically, we could still tie with them.
With the Dolphins losing today, they clinched the division off of like a technicality of best schedule or something. So that's technically their 7th.
I didn't even know they went that deep.
Wait, what?
Best schedule? I've never heard of that.
If we beat the Patriots, no. I think what they're saying. Yeah, they're saying they did clinch division. If we beat the Patriots, because the Patriots, if we win out the next 3 games, we'll be tied. And the Patriots beat us, and we beat the Patriots. But the Patriots beat the Bills, and we lost to the Bills. So that's why they clinched the division. I think that's what it is. Something like that.
Yeah, and it comes down to like the 5th tiebreaker, which would be like strength of schedule. And since the Giants won, and the Patriots beat the Giants early in the year, that helped their strength of schedule. And
that's fine. The Patriots are not going to the Super Bowl again. I'm okay with that.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. The other thing that...
Yes, they are.
Who else is going to beat them in the AFC?
The Jets.
Cincinnati's lost Dalton.
He's week to week now. He is not lost. He does not need surgery. He is not out. Today that was confirmed. He is not out. He is week to week. He does not need surgery in his hand.
Well, I'm not buying into them until they win a playoff game for once in their life.
Totally. You know, about this game too, though, not only was the discipline on the there was a lot of roughing the passer. You know, when they had that Eli to Beckham for 45 yards, they added an additional 15 yards because of roughing the passer. And it was like way after. It's like usually you're allowed like 2 steps and you're kind of okay. It was way after. So again, that discipline. I got to give a little tiny shout out to number 45 in the Giants, Ty, because he is the first active NFL player that came from Stony Brook University, which is around the corner from where I grew up. So
Excellent.
that was a big little
Good
shout out.
Awesome. Cool.
And the other thing that I wanted to totally note is how, I don't know if you noticed this, Ben, I don't know if you watched at home where it was quiet and you can hear or out somewhere, but the amount of cheering that happened when Odell Beckham made those plays, it's insane because as a New Yorker, so many New Yorkers go down to Florida and that's like, you know, it's their winter home or whatever. So I feel like
true.
it's not necessarily that bad of an away game, but the crowd erupted during those catches for Beckham. It was kind of awesome to hear.
He's one of the most exciting players in sport to watch
Yeah.
right now, in all sports.
While
He's a
While we're
phenomenon.
talking about him, I should probably throw out some stats.
Do it. Go ahead.
Bang.
Hit us with the stats.
He had some crazy milestones today. So in the first 25 games a receiver has played in the league, he has the most receptions with 176. He has the most yards with 2,625, and he's second most in touchdowns with 25 touchdowns. And right now, he's on a string of 6 straight 100-yard plus games. There's only been 10 receivers since 1960 to do it, and only 4 in the last since 95.
Why aren't the Giants better? That's what I just don't
Because
get.
Eli has poopy diaper face.
They can focus on him.
Look at him.
And they haven't had a running game for a while. And I think that's an
Jennings.
issue.
Hey, Ben, one thing that I follow Australian sports, and one thing that really irritates me about the NFL and what's going on, just off the topic for a second, which I just want to get an American's opinion of, it's that the NFC East and the AFC South, the 2 worst conferences in football, both are going to have losing records, are going to get a home playoff game. That is just completely unfair to me. Does that need to be changed?
Go ahead, Ben. You go first, and then I'll speak to it.
I tend to agree with you. I think the home playoff game is a little whack. You have to give it a spot to the division winner because you play each other 6 of your 16 games are the other teams in your division. So you have to reward somebody for doing well in those 6 games, which is a big chunk of your schedule. But I agree, the home playoff game kind of messes with it because, like last year, we had the same thing with the Panthers, Falcons, Saints division. They were the ones that were under 500 in getting a home playoff game. So I think it happens every once in a while, like every 3 or 4 years. And it's just...
See, I actually kind of see I understand what you guys are saying, don't get me wrong, but I see the flip side of that being that those divisions right now are the most fair. Like, you've got, you know, Carolina, who's 13-0, blowing everybody out of the water, and then you've got these divisions. Like, it's exciting because you don't know who's gonna go. It's exciting because they've somewhat been matched up fairly, and regardless if that's an ugly team versus an ugly team, but there's been a fair matchup, so it's not been a blowout. So I feel like that's almost more of a struggle, so it doesn't, like, it kind of weighs out to me.
So Seattle are going to get the wild card in the West. They're on fire right now. They're going to have to go to probably Philadelphia, Washington, or somewhere like that in their first home playoff game, which just doesn't add up to me. I don't know.
I understand. Like I said, I understand what you're saying, but it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother me as much as it does some other people. It's just one of those things you kind of learn to live with it.
It really bothers me. I don't know why. Like, really? I'm like, you're 5. Someone in the East is going to get in on a 6-9 record or something. I'm like, you barely deserve to be there. You've been inadequate the whole year.
But if they don't deserve to be there, then they should get beat and not be there.
Well, they have been getting beat. They're 6-9, and they're going to be there.
But the thing is, too, like, you can't. From my feeling on it as well is that you can't predict that this is how the season's going to go, that there's going to be 3 teams tied for first place.
True.
So you can't change the rules because then there will be so much bickering and bantering about what the rule is. You kind of got to stick to your guns about it, or else, there's just going to be someone complaining always.
No, that's true. It does change every year.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, anything else? I know we have a little bit of a shorter show tonight. What else about this game, Ben, that stood out for you? We kind of, it was a little bit of a dirty game. It was a little bit of a high-scoring game, which I liked. I feel like, it could have went either way. But, talking about Tannehill stuck out for me, Odell Beckham, Jennings, Rashad Jones, Sue, Eli. I mean, is there anything that we missed that you, wanted to touch on before we wrap up?
I mean, just the fact that these 2 young wide receivers came from the same school, best friends.
Yeah.
And they're
That's a
both
cool story.
putting up massive numbers. I feel like if next time I go out and play a sport, I need to put a little blonde streak in my hair, put some sticky gloves on, and act like them because they're doing something right. But I mean, if you think about it in the future, those 2 are going to be like the new Julio and Megatron. They're going to be taking those spots. It'll be fun to watch for years to come.
Yeah, I feel like Odell Beckham almost is. I mean, he's on the cover of Madden Football, is he not?
He reminds me of Gumby
true.
or Inspector Gadget or something. Or Spider-Man. Someone ridiculously
Spider-Man.
flexible that just has these arms come out of every part of his body and the ball appears in his hand. He's an incredible athlete.
Yeah, I think that we should start that hashtag Spider-Man. I think that he is that someone else is so going to steal that.
I mean, you got Cam Newton as Superman, so...
yeah, Cam Newton is Superman. I'll give him that.
I mean, J.J. Watt could be the Hulk.
Is Cam Newton your MVP, Ben?
I am a huge Tom Brady fan, so it's hard for me to say that. And up until probably week 12, I had Tom Brady for sure.
I did too.
But now, I would have to say he's probably taken over the lead. We'll see how it ends up. I wish we could see the playoffs and count the playoffs for the MVP because I think Brady would win it then. But with the season playing out as it is, I think Cam Newton is definitely
I still think Patriots are going to be Super Bowl champs in the end. But I mean,
this year, you think the Patriots are going to win?
Yeah.
Even if they're playing the Panthers?
Yeah, I think I think they're going to have. If Seattle make it to the Super Bowl,
round 1 of the playoffs, they will get knocked out.
You got to be objective here.
I am. This is what happens. This is what happened 8 years ago.
They get Edelman back. Get the bye.
Oh, well, the first time they play, you know what I mean.
I think Seattle is dangerous. Russell Wilson is on fire right now. If they make it through the NFC, I think they match up well against the Patriots. But
take 2.
Yeah.
When's the last time that happened? The same 2 teams faced each other in the Super Bowl back to back?
Jeez, I wasn't in the country. Don't know.
I don't know either.
That'll be a research project. I'll have to look that up.
All right, you can look that up.
I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. So, okay, well, we kind of lost track of our standings, Ben, since we haven't been here. But who do you think's gonna? Who do the Giants play next week?
Panthers, I think.
The Giants
play
the Panthers. So I'm going to pick the Panthers.
Is that a danger game for the Panthers going to MetLife? I feel like it is.
It is. I think it could be with
Eli goes psycho in the big games sometimes.
Well,
yeah.
I think the only thing that keeps the Panthers in it is they have Norman, and the Giants' main thing is their number 1 receiver. So if Norman can shut down OBJ even a little bit, I think that the Giants are going to struggle.
Norman's one of the best corners in the league this year.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and I mean, that's like that Patriots game. You know, the Eli comes out hot when Patriots played them. The field goal at the end to win it. It's just Giants scare me. I don't know why. You know when they won their two Super Bowls, they just made it into the playoffs, and then they get hot because they have these stars like Beckham. Eli's done it before.
Yeah. So who are you gonna go with, Guy?
Next week?
Yeah, Panthers.
I got to go with the Panthers.
Okay, I'm gonna go with the Panthers too. So we're all going with the Panthers. Actually, you know what?
Why are you changing?
Because I wanted to keep it interesting, and I'm from New York. But you know what, Guy? You have been so supportive of me and my Jets, so I'm gonna root for you and your Panthers.
Thank you. I was about to get really upset.
I know you were gonna be pissed. Okay, then the Dolphins are playing the Chargers next week here in San Diego. Who do you think's gonna win that, guys?
God, that's a pick'em game. You, Ben?
Dolphins, definitely Dolphins. I think with the core of the new offensive coordinator, the new coach, I think they have a good thing going over there, and I think they want to keep that for like next year. So they have motivation to play well.
I'm going to go Chargers. I thought they were pretty good against Kansas City. They probably should have won that game in the end. And I think at home, Phillip Rivers will throw for 400.
I'm going to agree with Ben and go Dolphins. And then next week on Monday Night Football, we got the Lions in New Orleans versus the Saints.
Lions.
I'm going to go Lions for Ben.
I'm going to go New Orleans.
All right, there it is.
I think the Lions do whatever's worse for them, and since they're now out of the playoffs, the worst thing that could happen is if we win, then we get a worse pick.
You're a Lions supporter?
Yeah.
I am a huge Lions supporter.
Oh gosh, that Green Bay game!
It's been
I
a
feel
rough
for you.
life.
Yeah. All right, so well, Ben, tell the people where they can find you and keep up with you. Thank you so much for calling. I really appreciate you calling in and taking the time to hang out with us.
Oh, it was a blast. It's fun as always. You can find me at Fantasy Stat Guru.
Sweet. And Guy, where can the people find you? Thanks for joining in, pulling you out of the car, talking
Had so
football.
much fun. It was better than texting in the car.
You know your stuff, man. I like it.
It's because I learn off you.
I
just
man.
listen to you. I'm like a sponge. Guy David 86 on Twitter and Instagram, guys.
And you guys can find me, Stef Z, at IAMSTEFZ. Also, if you see, I have on my Star Wars style Rare Breed shirt for Star Wars Week. So go to rarebreedlifestyle.com and get your Rare Breed t-shirt as well. Have a good one, guys.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.